Our next extraordinary speaker is Robert Atkinson, and Robert, PhD, author, speaker, and developmental psychologist, is a 2017 Nautilus Book Award winner for The Story of Our Time, From Duality to Interconnectedness to Oneness, and a co-editor of Our Moment of Choice, Evolutionary Visions and Hope for the Future in 2020. He's also the founder of One Planet Peace Forum and Story Commons, an internationally recognized authority on the life story interviewing, life story interviewing, a pioneer in the techniques of personal myth-making and soul-making, and a member of the Evolutionary Leaders Circle, a project of the Source of Synergy Foundation. Bob Atkinson, it's wonderful to have you here in the symposium, and we're looking forward to hearing your, following Ervin's comments, your own keynote as we begin day one of the symposium.
Thank you, Ben. It's a great pleasure to be here with you all. And I want to thank the esteemed Ervin Laszlo for gathering us around this most vital theme. We're all here with a common mission, as well as a personal mission. There's humanity's collective sacred mission, and there's also each human being's individual sacred mission. Together, these all add up to countless ways of making the world a better place. This symposium is designed to make the sacred mission for each of us much clearer. As we each carry out our individual sacred mission, the collective mission becomes fulfilled. This is when we will experience our greatest success in life, knowing that our personal sacred mission is helping to carry out humanity's collective sacred mission. So I'd like to offer a big picture, holistic context for this theme from an interspiritual perspective that might serve as a container for what will be filled by all the contributions to come during this symposium. At the end, I'll add what our sacred activism might look like. The upshift in consciousness we're witnessing now has been a long time coming. It's really the culmination of a long evolutionary process. At the turn of this millennium, Brother Wayne Teasdale recognized this flow and put it all in perspective when he saw a shift in consciousness bringing about an interdependence of all spiritual traditions, a new interconnected universal civilization, and an emerging unitive consciousness available to all. He said this shift comes from the heart of all mysticisms. And this points to what Teilhard de Chardin referred to as a single energy at play in the world. We are at a watershed moment in humanity's progress toward fulfilling its sacred mission. A unitive force is impelling humanity toward its destiny. In our time, a universal spirituality is emerging, bringing humanity within reach of its sacred mission. Initiating periodic leaps of consciousness, each sacred tradition has contributed a unique quality in this unfolding process of humanity's spiritual heritage. In The Essential Mystics, Andrew Harvey identified these interrelated ways of approaching the unfathomable mystery as, from the first people's traditions, the way of reverent intimacy with nature; from ancient Greek mysticism, the way of beauty; from Hinduism, the way of presence; from Judaism, the way of holiness; from Taoism, the way of the Tao; from Buddhism, the way of clarity; from Christianity, the way of love and action; and from Islam, the way of passion. And in the mid-19th century, out of the division, discord, and inequality of Persia, Baha'u'llah, founder of the Baha'i International Community, renewed the spiritual verities by focusing on the way of unity as the means of healing the ills of an ailing humanity. This primary principle is vividly expressed in his statement: the well-being of humankind, its peace and security are unattainable unless and until its unity is firmly established. This mid-19th century refocusing of spiritual values was followed by advances in all realms of human rights, from the end of slavery to women's rights, to the first convening of the world's religions, and the long struggle for civil rights. With these advances, humanity is entering the unitive age, a time promised by all sacred traditions when humanity will restore the world to wholeness, bringing about a new earth by establishing unity, harmony, and coherence on a global scale. We can see this unitive age and humanity's sacred mission as the fulfillment of the age-old vision of peace on earth. This next stage in the evolution of the planet will be when the universal golden rule is writ large and carried out on all relational levels. However, this long-awaited future depends upon the continued convergence of science and spirituality, because they are halves of the same whole, or complementary perspectives on the same reality. They both help us to understand the mysteries of our universe, identify the single force guiding evolution, and live in harmony with all things. Science and spirituality already converge in recognizing that the entire creation is the fullest embodiment of wholeness, and that unitive consciousness is the organizing principle upon which the entire universe was formed and still guides its ongoing evolution. Unitive consciousness in action is when our work in the world becomes one with that wholeness and motion all around us. But because evolution and history do not occur in a straight line, but rather in a non-linear, spiral-like process, divisions and separation persist, even as a universal spirituality is emerging to recreate the oneness of all things. So the important part of this unfolding and enfolding evolutionary process toward unity and wholeness is each of us discovering what our personally sacred mission is, how we fit into this flow, and what we can contribute to what is needed in this collective upshift toward unity, wholeness, and peace on earth. The way of unity is integral to our return to an undivided wholeness that is the nature of creation. The reason we exist, the goal toward which we evolve, is the realization of our unity. When we become the living embodied reflection of the sacred unity around us, we will see the fulfillment of humanity's sacred mission. This is achieved by living with a unitive consciousness where unity is all there is. In this consciousness, we are connected on a deep level with all other things. Achieving a unitive consciousness is also humanity's sacred mission. Our call to action is initiating and guiding the spiritual regeneration of ourselves, our communities, our institutions, and our social structures on all levels, so that the human family and all creatures on the planet can live together as a vast, all-inclusive wholeness in motion. There is no other way to build unified communities and create a peaceful world than by each circle of unity adopting and living by unitive principles facilitating the fullness, inclusivity, and belonging that will culminate in the unity of the entire human family and the eventual merging of all circles of unity into one unified circle of wholeness in which there will be no one left to exclude. So we invite you to reflect deeply on what your personal sacred mission is and how this will align with, support, and help fulfill humanity's sacred mission at this critical moment in our collective evolution. No greater, more sacred mission is there than to become the cause of peace and well-being to others. As all spiritual traditions affirm, love is a universal, timeless elixir, the supreme force through which the fulfillment of humanity's sacred mission will be achieved.
Bob Atkinson, thank you. Thank you so much for that wonderful discourse about the spiritual dynamics and the philosophical aspects and the urgency of fulfilling humanity's sacred mission in this time. Thank you, Bob. The position papers that you and Ervin had laid out months ago, which really have set the scene for everything that's unfolded since in this extraordinary global collaboration. And thank you again for that beautiful presentation. There's a lot of resonance in the chat over in the participants room, and people really enjoying what you were sharing. So thank you, Bob, for that eloquent piece.